Okay, this is
Red light means go, which
Okay.
is kind of backwards, but that's how we roll here.
okay. All right, we are ready to go. This is segment 2, 1330, begins in 3, 2, 1. And hello, everyone. Welcome to the Real Estate Show on KCMX News Media 880 and on YouTube at realestateshowOregon.com. I'm Pete Belcastro. That's Joe Brett down there. This is Alice Lima right here. We're all brokers with John L. Scott in Southern Oregon, and we get with you once a week here on the radio and YouTube, well, to talk about all sorts of real estate-related issues and topics. Today, the guy here in the middle is a fellow named Travis Hand. He's the owner of Rogue Inspections, an inspection service, and has been on our show before, and we're happy to have you back. And today's show, by the way, is presented by the Rogue Valley Association of Realtors, roguevalleyrealtors.org. And Travis, great to have you here. Thanks for coming today.
Thank you, Pete. I'm excited to be here again.
Yeah, so the world of home inspections, it's so big. There's so much out there. I don't even know where to start with you today, except that let's tell you just about the market. Are you busy? Tell us what's going on with you there.
We're busy. We're staying very busy. We've got 47 inspections in this month already so far. Probably be somewhere around 90 by the end of the month with just me and my other inspector, Ian. And halfway through this month, we're bringing on one more inspector to get him going and bring those numbers up and stay up to speed. Right now, we're about a week out, so I'm trying to get that down to about 3 to 5 days max.
Yeah.
That's not that bad, though. There were times when we had to wait 2 and 3 weeks for inspectors, so that's still pretty good.
You think that's pretty good there?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so the inspections, I mean, we deal with inspections all the time as brokers, and when sellers and buyers, the inspection plays such a huge role in the process. I mean, I don't think sometimes people don't realize how big a role, right, Alan?
Well, yeah, and buyers are really nervous, and I don't think sellers really give that enough credit. And that's why we always recommend the sellers get a pre-listing inspection, and that's something that Travis and his gang do. But it really alleviates a lot of fears on the buyer side and the seller side. Because, the buyer can kill the deal if they want because of the inspection.
And that remember that's the way out if you're the buyer is going to be on the home inspection. I mean, that's going to be your way out if you want to get your earnest money back. There's generally three ways that you can get out of that deal once you're into it, right? And they are the home inspection.
Home inspection,
Number
the appraisal.
2, the appraisal. Joe, number 3, the
financing contingencies.
You got them all, you guys. That was really good. Yeah, you did. Okay, that's true. All right, so we go into the home inspection, so that part of it comes back. And remember, you better do one first of all. Although we've met people who bought homes who have not done inspections, haven't we?
Yeah, we don't know why they do that. Don't do that. Even if you're a contractor, even if you're in the business, spend the money, let another pair of eyes go in there and just give you another opinion.
I liken it to jumping off a nice little rock cliff and not having any idea how deep the pool is below you there. If you're going to buy a house without an inspection, you might as well just go jump in any creek you see and hope that you've got water underneath you there. But really, it's like that. It could be such a big gamble, even though the house looks beautiful, looks like to be in good shape. There are a number of things that can cost you a lot of money if you don't find them ahead of time.
Well, Travis is going to be he teaches for the Rogue Valley Association of Realtors a class. You've got something coming up. So just what is that called again?
So we've got an advanced home inspection.
Talk to that microphone, buddy. There you go.
We've got an advanced home inspection training course coming up on June 26th, I believe. One class in Medford, and then following that up with a class in Grants Pass.
You call it Advanced Home Inspection Training.
Yep.
All right.
So it's a 2-hour course. We're going to focus on the home inspection process, everything from what it takes to be an inspector, to finding the right inspector, to making sure once you find that inspector, they've got everything in place to protect you, your client, and everyone in the transaction. So that's important to us. That's something we take seriously, and we want our real estate agents to know that's an option. So you're not just picking somebody, and then when the deal goes south, somebody's getting in trouble. So then we're going to go through the inspection report, every single thing that a home inspector looks for, not just me specifically, but just in the industry, kind of what's selected, what's brought to the buyer's attention. Then we're going to go through kind of what some of the biggest deal killers are. One of
the deal killers,
the things
yes,
you run into,
there.
and how you can handle that from a pre-listing inspection, if it's on a disclosure, to negotiating repairs, which really isn't my forte, but we can just kind of bring that up and try to soothe that out a little bit, because there's a few things you run into every once in a while that seem to always just frustrate people. So if we can kind of get those on the plate and bring them to the real estate agent's attention, we may be able to help kind of smooth
Mitigate
through
those.
that
Yeah.
process.
You know what I like about that is the real estate agents getting this deep level of training and home inspections. They can be upfront with the clients, whether they're on the buyer side or the seller side, and prepare them so that if something does show up, it's not such a big deal. Everybody's kind of ready for it.
Don't you think after so many years of doing this, and we're all kind of the same amount of years, we can walk around a house with clients and point things out that may be pointed out in a home inspection, right? Not that we're the experts, but
Some predictability.
But
something's
that is part of our due diligence, is to have a visual understanding of what could be of concern to
When you're showing the house, yeah.
safety issues, all of the above that we're to train our eyes to try to help the clients with, to maybe alert the inspector for somebody has to crawl into that house, which will not be me, and find out.
What's the biggest things that you find? Is there a commonality across inspections? Because I know you do, different price ranges, that kind of thing. But is there a commonality of problems that you see in this area because you've been at it in a while now?
Let's see. Commonality: a lot of deferred maintenance on the exterior, to missing caulking.
Say that again. I want everybody to hear you say that.
So most common is deferred maintenance on the exterior.
Deferred maintenance on
Is
the
that like
exterior.
paint and siding?
Paint, siding,
gutters.
Okay.
Fascia, window trim, door trim, all of that.
Mossy
Dry
roofs.
rot, missing caulking around there, just protection. So the outside layer of your home is the protecting against the water. It's keeping your home free of moisture, free of mold, and it's just your ultimate protection layer for your home that you just buy. So that's one of the most important things that we look at to make sure that structure is going to defer water and keep the home safe and mold free.
Because we've learned on our show what's the number one problem that damage in a home.
That's water.
It's water damage, and you're backing that up, whether it's coming from the roof on down or inside, whatever. But water is the number one
And that's
cause
preventable.
of damage.
And that's preventable.
A lot of it is. I
Yeah.
mean, a lot of it absolutely is. Well, deferred maintenance is the big issue. And what is the thing that we see so many people? It was really funny. A lot of times you walk around with sellers and we're walking around the house, or they say to you, what condition of the house? Oh, the house is in great condition. Everything works. I got no problems, right? And then you get an inspection back and all heck breaks loose. It can happen, right?
Yeah, and then everybody's upset and surprised. So
how do we avoid that thing as the sellers? Because it upsets people so much. So Alice, how do we avoid that?
Well, part of it is just explaining to them why it's important to spend that $400 or $500 and have the building looked at before you have a buyer in contract. So that way you can understand what is going to be pointed out. You have an opportunity to remedy those, or at least explain to the future buyer what your intentions are with that.
You're talking about a pre-home inspection?
A pre-home inspection.
Okay, because you've talked about those. I mean, the first time I ever met you, remember? And I thought, Alice, no, that's not. Really, people don't need those. Oh.
Yeah, they're saving graces.
What?
Who did one before he sold his own house?
I did do that. I did do that.
I
did do that.
Came around to the message from the real estate
because
show.
I've seen I've just seen nothing but problems when you don't know. But more importantly than that, and I think, Alice, is that the seller then is in control a little bit more of the sale because you have the information that the buyer has that you don't even have yet to know what's coming.
Yeah, and it also, I think, helps on the disclosure side. The state of Oregon takes the disclosures very seriously. A lot of states do. I'm not just saying just Oregon. But I think Oregon's disclosure is now 7 pages long, and they want you to write down everything. And if you can include a recent home inspection, whether you've done any repairs or not, that transparency creates a lot more trust and a lot more smoothness for the transaction.
Well, and just think about it. If you're trying to cover something up, first of all, you're going to find it, right?
Yeah, you're getting a home inspection either way. So
You-
you might as well know.
That's right. That's a good way to look at it.
And the seller, now, can the seller can say, I've got the home inspection, and you come in as a buyer, right? I can say to you, look, I've got a home inspection. Would you give it to them so they can see it?
I recommend that. I recommend making it available through open houses. Have your agent be able to email it to any potential buyers. A lot of us put it on the MLS. There's a special agent-to-agent place where any agent can go up and see it. And again, I think it's great for disclosure. I think it prepares all the parties for the condition of the house. And especially if you have a house that's got great bones, but but maybe it's older and it doesn't look good, you can discover that there's actually nothing wrong with
And it's
it.
in
That
good-
is equally important
Yeah,
because
all
you
right.
won't lose as much money on the sale.
Travis, do you see more people doing that? I mean, we talk about it a lot in our meetings and things like that and on our shows. Are you seeing people do more pre-inspections? And that would you recommend that kind of a thing?
So we push it, not hard, but we discuss it when we do any office presentations, anything like that. It's available on our website, and it's something that we encourage our real estate agents and sellers that we speak to specifically to do. It's basically a full disclosure, an ultimate form of trust in the transaction, to where you're being completely upfront with the sale of your home. You're letting the buyers and everybody in the transaction know you're doing your due diligence. You're not hiding anything, and it's going to lighten the negotiations on the back end when you get that home inspection done up front.
Oh,
Number
yeah.
one, it gives you the opportunity to repair anything that is brought up on that inspection.
Right.
With a contractor that you want to use for a price that you can bid out. If you get that on the back end, you're hustling to find a contractor within a 10-day period to slap
Yeah.
on a new roof for you, and you're,
It's not going to
you're
work.
getting Joe down south to
Yeah.
spend about $10,000 extra than you would have up front. So that's a big deal. And then we try to help market that home inspection also. So what we'll actually do is we'll put a house on a website base that we use, and it actually allows us to help market that house. So we can share links. It'll attach the home inspection report. We can put up a sign
Okay.
writer saying this home's been pre-inspected by us, Texas
Yeah,
Lincoln.
he's
We'll
got
get
lawn
you-
signs you
Well,
can put in the
Yeah.
house
Okay,
on the lawn of the house.
and we have a break coming up here, and I want to talk to you about that because if you get a pre-home inspection, and we talk about that, if you get that, you have some guarantees that go along with that. So the seller now, because if you inspect it, you say it's good for so long, and you've done this, and then that starts. So the seller now is covered if something goes wrong with that because you've got some was not insurance, I guess. What is it called?
Yeah, warranties.
Warranties
Yep.
that come with that. So we're going to talk about that after our break here and get more into that because that's, again, if you're the seller, you want to be in control more.
Well, and buyers will give you more money too. I mean, let's be really honest about this conversation. It comes down to money a lot of times. And a buyer, I've seen it over and over again. They're likely to write an offer on the home that's been inspected ahead of time, even if there's a better deal down the street.
Yeah, really? Okay.
Even if there's a better deal down the street, they'll come and write an offer on the one that's been inspected.
Because you've done
that's
your-
a trust you've built just by infusing that into your listing.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be a perfect inspection.
No,
right.
Yeah.
No, they don't have to be
And I'd love to
perfect.
hear how the other agents are responding. I know it's not a real popular thing yet in Southern Oregon, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
In what way? In what?
just
responding
I'm
to-
curious to hear from Travis how many other agents are starting to pick up this idea.
Not very many.
No.
It's
Not yet.
a slow process.
Not yet.
But
But
We're
they
getting
are.
the It will be.
It will be the
I
new
think it's going to
standard.
be.
Getting the idea out
We're
there.
going to help with that.
It absolutely is going to be the new standards. I think those are things coming that, especially in the competitive world, the more inventory there is out there, you got more competition for your properties. The more advantage you have for yourself, the quicker you're going to sell it for the more price, for the more money you're going to get it. Well, that's pretty simple.
Yeah.
That's the way it works. We got a break coming up here on the Real Estate Show. We're with Travis Hand from Rogue Inspection Service today on the programs. Today's show sponsored by the Rogue Valley Association of Realtors. Pete and Joe and Alice. We're coming right back with more right after this.
Let's scoot you guys down just a little bit this way. There we go.
Closer, Bear Bud. I'm watching you over here. Remember,
He watches your sound
let me
waves.
tell you, Travis, you're with three people who are good talkers. Let me tell you,
Sorry.
our voices carry.
I'm a little quiet.
Our voices carry.
I struggle with that.
So we're going to go talk about warranties. Can we do that? You want to talk about these kind of things like this that you have in front of you there that you haven't looked
Yep.
at because you don't look at his stuff, so you can look at it now.
I'm going to though. I
So
promise.
you can
It's.
show.
I talk about it. I tell everybody. I mean, you gave me
Okay,
the info.
all right,
I talk
all right.
about it.
Okay, here we go. Segment 3, 1330 goes in 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to the Real Estate Show on KCMX News Media 880 and YouTube at realestateshowOregon.com. Pete Belcastro here, Joe Brett, Alice Lehman. We're all brokers with John L. Scott, of course. And in the middle there is Travis Hand, the owner of Rogue Inspection Services and an instructor with the Rogue Valley Association of Realtors, who is sponsoring today's show. And we appreciate that. Next week, by the way, Guy Giles will be in. The lending world is really strange. By the way, we talked about interest rates. Remember, below 4%, 3.875. the lending industry, like banks and airlines, have really consolidated themselves. Guy is now represented with a Mutual of Omaha home loans.
That's interesting,
And they
yeah.
closed one for me this week. How fast that was. Anyway, so Guy will be along next week and we'll hear that.
And I asked him earlier this spring to keep interest rates low and ride herd on that.
Yeah,
so we're going to thank him
yeah,
when he gets in. He's doing a great job.
Yeah, and we want to tell you 2 weeks from today, Glenn Cunningham, who is a CPA with owner of Nagel and Padilla, who comes on the last part of June for like 7 or 8 years now, I think. He's our CPA.
Yeah.
And he knows more about real estate law and buying and for what people
Tax
do,
law.
tax laws and everything. And so Glenn will be here in 2 weeks, and we'll look forward to hearing what he's got to say.
It's the 1 hour repeat I get to spend with him that's not billable.
Yeah,
we love that visit with him.
We just grill him as anything we can talk
anything
about.
comes to
Anyway,
mind.
today we're talking home inspections. Before the break there, Travis Hand, by the way, we're talking with you. The warranties now, that was something that I had never heard that in home inspections until you came along and introduced this to us. And you've expanded that, it seems like. So tell me how that is going in the business, because I think it's really, warranties are good in buying and selling, right?
Absolutely. And I don't think anybody else is offering this, are they?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I haven't looked, so there may be.
Well,
and-
you've got it here. Let me show it here. We got this brochure here. That you got here, which is packages now of different types of inspections that you can do. Because it's just not the home inspection. I mean, the home inspection is one thing and only covers, I guess, the home, right? Okay, but there's other inspections, right? You can order.
Yeah, and one of the really important ones is sewer scope, and not enough people are doing those when they buy properties, and we really want Travis to weigh in on that. And then one of the more esoteric is the ductwork scope. And I had this done and found out that a couple of my vents were not properly attached, and I had, I was heating and cooling my crawl space. So, and then there's testing the water. You can test for lead. Travis has come and done that at my house too.
What other tests are there? I mean, there's tons of things you can. Well, there's inspection for pests. I'm not that you do those. I'm trying to think. What other things are there?
Radon.
Yeah.
Radon gas. Radon gas. No, that's a good one. What'd you say?
It is,
Is that common here?
No.
No, I didn't think so.
No.
We're in the lower zone for radon here, so
So I'm just figuring.
I haven't
my-
invested
my
in the
continuing
radon
education.
testing
No,
kit
we
yet,
sometimes
so-
get requests from people that are coming from out of the area.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if you're in certain parts of the
had a
country,
couple requests for
radon
it.
does that, and even radon, it comes out to
In
your
all
house.
of our
it kinda comes out-
teachings.
I went to it. Did you go to that class where the radon naturally comes out of the ground?
Yes.
But your house actually blocks it and it comes around it.
It's
I
very
remember
interesting.
that. Yeah, it's very. Yeah.
But
Anyway.
Travis, tell
Well, it
us
actually will seep through the cracks or any holes in your foundation, and then it
Yes.
will accumulate, which will cause your higher
And that's not good. Yeah.
Ooh.
higher
Well,
levels.
give
But-
us a list of inspections that you have available, because it's really interesting.
Okay, so we got your standard home inspection. That's our most common. We've got pool and spa, sewer scope, mold testing. We do HVAC duct and work inspections where we'll run basically like a sewer line camera, but not that's been in the sewer line, just a separate system. Run that through the duct work and check for any tears, rodent infestations, anything like that. That's going to be a health concern or a efficiency concern for your heating and cooling bills. Let's see. We have a crawl space robot or a crawl space robot. If we can't get into a crawl space,
Crawl space robot.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
is that?
So
Perk
that's
Dallas
a,
right up there in robotic.
Yeah.
And
So
really, you
it's-
put a robot into the house.
Yeah. So only if we can't get under there.
Okay.
Like some of the older houses are super small clearance or
Small.
something. It's kind of like a remote control car with 3D camera on top where we can just go
A
through
3D camera?
Wow.
and record.
That is so
everything.
downtown.
It's
That's
a scaled
cool.
down commercial
It's,
consumer version of a military
Yeah.
robot of some sort. It sounds like.
That's kind of
Oh.
cool. Okay.
Just a way for us to still provide peace of mind under the house, make sure there's no leaks, major issues, anything like that. We can still get kind of a visual exam of what's going on underneath. But yeah, mostly our common, we've got the home inspection, the sewer scope, and the mold tester. Pretty much what we're
And
running
those are
most
the kind of
time.
the generally three things beyond the home inspection that are the more popular ones, or the ones that you're actually doing more of then.
But I
Right.
think you also do
Okay.
sprinklers, right?
Yeah, sprinkler
And that-
system inspections.
That is
as
so
well.
important because people
Sprinklers,
don't
like
check
you mean
those.
checking your sprinklers, make sure
Yep,
they're working,
lawn
kind of
irrigation
thing.
systems. Make sure we have no major leaks. Make sure all the valves and everything are functioning properly. Make sure the sprinkler system's not actually hitting to the house to where it's going to deteriorate the.
Put water
Uh-huh.
into your
Sprinkler
house.
as well.
Now there
Sure.
are thousands of pools
Yep.
in the Rogue Valley. I mean, a lot of people have pools.
Yep.
What do you inspect in a pool? I mean, when would I want you to come and do this?
So for the pool, the main thing we're looking at is safety. With us, we're looking to
Okay.
make sure that there's a fence around the perimeter, fence around the pool.
I see.
We're going to check the decking, coping, the liner, all of that. Make sure that's in good condition. That we don't see any signs of like settlement or visual cracks or anything that's going to cause a leak in the pool. We'll check the plumbing, the pump, the heater, the electrical. Make sure we've got that bonded and protected on a GFCI circuit. And that's about it.
Can you,
That's really thorough.
I was just going to say,
That's
can
very
you imagine how many people were just listening and saying, I own a pool. All those things you're saying. Have I had those checked? Boy.
Well, and the thing is, you can call Travis anytime. If you've owned a pool for 5 years and
You can have it done.
you can have it done
Yeah.
again. Yeah, how often should you re-inspect pools and hot tubs?
I would at least suggest maintenance from a pool company once, twice a year, just to make sure your chemicals are where they should be, that your pool condition's working good, that your pump's working good and not overworking, that your filters and skimmers and everything are staying cleaned
Okay.
out and working properly.
Because the mentality is, if the water looks clear and the pump's on, I'm good. Like 5 years go by.
Right.
Yeah.
And if it
Yeah.
Or
doesn't,
10
if it doesn't,
or 20.
then you're in trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
people certainly lots of pools, and again, in selling, a buyer's going to want to have that inspection.
Well,
Because
some
I
buyers
think-
don't even know to get that inspected.
I know, but I've had also buyers that, the pool should be inspected
And it
because,
should,
if
yes.
especially if it's not beautiful and
Big
looking,
ticket
it's,
item.
if there's something wrong with that,
Yeah,
isn't there?
yeah. And a lot of hot tubs are getting left at the home as part of the transaction because the former owner doesn't want to take it.
Right.
So, it's great to know that you can have somebody come and check that out too.
So when you come and do this, then you guarantee that for the next so many days that it's going to work, correct?
So when we do our standard home inspection, we've got a 90-day warranty on our inspection. So it's $0 deductible warranty to the buyer. So basically everything that's in good working condition at the time of the inspection is under that warranty for 90 days. There's also a couple different warranties on top of that as well. We've got a 5-year roof leak protection plan, which is putting a 5-year warranty on the house against any leaks. So as long as there's no things that we call out at the home inspection, that should be repaired, that were neglected. That wouldn't be covered, obviously, because that should have been repaired. But any leaks within the next 5 years, other than the natural deterioration of the roof, will be covered under that warranty.
You better have some pretty good training
Wow.
to do all that kind of inspections, don't you? I mean, that's a lot of it. That's a lot of stuff.
There's a
Put
lot
your
of stuff to look
warranty
at. We pay a lot of attention to.
Really details,
yeah,
kind
a
of thing.
lot
You were mentioning briefly about ducting and that kind of thing. Isn't that what, I mean, a lot of people have problems with critters that get into ducting, right? Is that the most common thing you find
common,
there? Is that
yeah.
kind of thing? So
Yeah.
you put a camera in there to actually see.
Yep.
That's a big issue with a lot of people, especially if there's evidence of pests, say in the basement or something.
Well, and that's so common right now with all the new construction. It's kind of driving the critters into the neighborhoods ever more than it was before. But also, if you have allergies, then getting your ductwork cleaned
Yes.
before you move in and then getting it done every so often is really, really important. And you need to know what's in there before you get it cleaned.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, again, more and more people are becoming aware of these things. And again, the specialized inspections are interesting. I remember when Alice was talking to Joe and I in a show once, I don't know, a while ago about sewer scopes.
Yep.
And my first thought was, Alice, come on, no one really is going to go pay have a sewer scope.
Yep.
When I'm buying the house. I mean, I had never had anybody ask for one. I had never anybody even talk about one until she comes along, and all of a sudden these things like blow up in your face because you've seen it happen more and more. And I'm just
it
shocked
happens.
at that.
Yeah, and it's really hard on the new owner. And Travis can talk more about what's involved in a sewer scope, but it can be thousands and thousands of dollars, and you really want to know ahead of time.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So
why don't you-
what
yeah.
is? I mean, what are you looking for there?
So,
Microphone there, but there you go.
So we've got a rigid sewer line system, and we'll basically go from the clean out or roof vent all the way through the line to the city connection. So what
And
we're
that's
looking
that's
for,
a camera, right?
Yep,
And-
it's a
and-
camera.
It's a video.
And what is it now? Remember, the seller the owner is responsible to the connection to the
street.
street.
Yep.
Okay, all right.
So that line is going to be the new buyer's responsibility once they take that over.
Once it
so
closes.
if that previous seller had root intrusion and they grind it out every once in a while, if there's a break they're not aware of, slow drainage, anything like that, we can catch that by doing that sewer line inspection. And a lot of times those repairs are $5,000 to $10,000 to get that fixed, just because it's a really labor-intensive process.
Yeah.
Especially if you have to move a street, sidewalk, and then redo that.
And you've had that happen.
Lots and lots of times. Yeah, the more sewer scopes we do, the more I want people to do them.
Is that right?
Yeah, it really is. And if you can catch it early enough, it's a lot less money. Or if it's
Right.
just in the yard, it's a lot less money. But you got to start, cutting up the street, and then the neighbors are mad, and
Yep.
you
Big
got to get
trees,
permits.
Crumbling
Yeah.
driveway, anything like that, are all indications of that we should probably do a sewer scope, just because that can be a very expensive repair. And I would say probably 75-80% of the time we do a sewer scope, we're recommending a plumber go on and evaluate that, because there is some issue that's going to be fairly expensive.
What's the worst one you've seen?
Well, there was a sewer line in Ashland, actually, terracotta pipe, and it was literally like roots the whole way through for about
Terracotta. That's what your plants are in.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay,
it's a
just want to
clay-
give the visual,
clay,
people.
yeah.
Clay
Orange
pipes
clay,
in
yeah.
Ashland.
Wow.
Go ahead.
So,
Sorry.
But yeah, there was just roots the whole way through. I mean, there was still water going through, and the house was vacant. And I don't know how long it had been vacant for, but it was just
That'll happen.
solid roots for
Yeah.
like 80 feet.
Well, this is what we're talking
That's
about. If we want our buyers to be smart real estate consumers. We want them to know these things of what the possibilities are.
Yeah, and in Southern Oregon, it's not the practice yet to do a sewer scope.
Yeah.
And we're hoping it will be.
Well, I mean that and other some of these other ones too that you've mentioned. They're a lot of not common practice, but the more we do, I think the better it is for buyers and sellers. What?
It just has a negative connotation to me.
Oh,
What
I'm
does?
sorry.
Older male issues of
Oh my
yeah.
God. That's
I probably should have saved that.
yes, that would probably have been good. Okay, don't forget you can check out any of our past shows at realestateshoworegon.com is our website. They're all there. Some terrific past shows. So hope you'll check them out there because. Gosh, it's everything you want to know about kind of real estate. It's been like the last few months. We've had some terrific guests on. So check them out, realestateshoworegon.com. Pete and Joe, we're coming right back with Alice and Travis Hand as well, right after this. I can't believe you. You're such an idiot. So I can't
You're
believe
sitting there inside my skull trying to get out.
I can't believe
the
you
whole
can't even
thing,
have
the
a
whole
discussion.
sewer
That's why we can't even have a discussion about septics with him in the house. That's how pathetic he actually is.
was funny.
Okay. And what are we going to do here? Here's the
I'm gonna
last
go- I'm
second.
gonna-
Alex, would you like to go?
I have to do one in September, so I'm going to just call them and can you book me for a sewer scope? My doctor may not know what I'm talking about.
Mechanical.
I'll
I want to talk about
explain.
mechanical stuff. Okay. Okay, ready to go?
Yes.
Okay, final segment, 9:30 goes in 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to the Real Estate Show on KCMX News Media 880, YouTube as well at realestateshoworegon.com. Pete Belcastro, Joe Brett, and Alice Lehman with you today in the house along with Travis Hand, who's the owner of Rogue Inspection Service. And I love your story. You just kind of left Nebraska, right, and just drove out here and started your business from like scratch, right?
That's right. Yep.
I
I was a home inspector in Nebraska for a couple of years, so I kind of knew the game. But we were in a smaller community and everything, so I mean the volume was much less. But we decided we wanted to live here. My family had been here prior, and my wife and I just loved it, so we decided this is where we want to start our family.
Well, you've been really successful with it, so congratulations to you as well. Okay, tell me about the mold part of your inspections, because you say the word stechabachi. I still remember that word,
said, yeah.
or mold, and people freak out.
Yeah.
I mean, buyers are going to freak out if the inspection comes back and says mold or evidence of mold, right?
Yep.
Okay.
So it's a naughty word.
Bad word. It's a bad
it
four-letter
freaks a lot
word.
of
It's a
people
bad
out.
four-letter
It's on that
word.
deal killer list.
The M word.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll do the visual exam on every house. That's part of our standard inspection. Even if you don't pay extra for a mold test, we're still doing a visual mold exam and notifying you if there's anything concerning with that. But if you want to go a little bit deeper, we'll actually come in and we'll take air quality samples. We'll basically filter air through a pump. We'll send that off to our lab. We'll get results back the next day, and it lets us know if there's any spores in the air. So
Okay.
that way you kind of have an idea. Even if we can't see anything, there may be something going on. If it's an old house behind the walls, if there'd been a major water leak at some point, all of that can be indicative of mold conditions to where you wouldn't
Do
really
you
notice
see
that.
much mold? Do you see? I don't see. I don't.
It's pretty
we-
dry in Southern Oregon.
We really
but
don't
what
get
do you-
much around here, do we?
Yeah.
Or are any particular homes better candidates or suspects
Yeah.
that you look for mold?
Not necessarily. Just kind of depends really on how the home's been cared for. Even if it's an old home, it still may be in great condition. But if there's been a major roof leak that was neglected, plumbing leaks, anything like that, we don't run into mold a lot. We do run into penicillium and stuff once in a while, which is a decaying wood. So that's basically-
And doesn't a lot of this caused by people who are you're venting into the attic from the bathrooms? Isn't that's not good?
Yeah,
right?
where's the most common
that's
location?
not good. It's probably not going to be your mold issue. So your attic air is separate from your house air. Your house is not drawing air from your attic. So even if there is a little bit of mold in the attic, you're generally not going to pull that into the home.
Oh, okay.
So that's not where you're really going to have a major concern. You definitely want to get that corrected because it can cause issues. But your crawl space can be, you want to keep that dry as possible. That can be some concern. But again, generally, you shouldn't really be pulling air from your crawl space into your house. So that's one reason we do the duct inspections
I
as
wouldn't-
well to
yeah,
make
I
sure
wouldn't
that's
like that.
proper.
I wouldn't
That's a
like
good
that. I wouldn't
idea,
like that
yeah.
either. Yeah.
Yeah, but most of the places you're going to find your mold is from a plumbing leak in a wall, bad conditions within, like a roof leak that comes through the ceiling, drywall, something like that, under cabinets and stuff. That's been leaking for a while and nobody opens the door to see
Yeah.
the cabinets. That can create that.
Yeah.
Some stuff like that.
Yeah, I
So-
don't see much of that around. Thank
You know,
goodness.
I
mean,
see
people
it a
do that.
lot in rentals. If we have
Okay.
people that are renting properties, they choose not to use the central heat and air systems, and they'll put blankets or plastic or something like that,
Oh.
and then you get condensation and all kinds of organic matters growing behind them. But again, it's just ventilation and taking good care of your home.
And I would assume, do you work with a lot of like landlords? Do landlords, if you have renters come in and out, do they use home inspectors to kind of keep themselves up to date if renters leave? And
That's
things
a
like
great
that?
idea, though. Huh?
I mean, that's not I would-
landlords should.
We don't play much in the property management game. Independent renters and landlords, that would be a good market. But most property management companies in the area have their own maintenance.
They do their own.
and
Yeah,
then
but
they
I'm talking
kinda
about
do
just
their
But
own.
having an inspection,
landlords just
I had
like,
one tenant once that got their own inspection because they were highly allergic, and before they would sign the rental agreement with the property manager,
Wanted an
they did
inspection.
request that. Yeah, it was very
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, that's interesting
Yeah.
as well. I think inspections as we go. Remember, these are the biggest, the largest investments you're going to make. And I don't know how many. We're talking about the prices here. Just kind of give us a kind of a price range, not that necessarily, but because people always ask that. Well, what's it going to cost me? So what does it cost to do more or less something like this?
So-
At the silver package, which is your basic, I guess, home inspection.
Yep. So our price is based off square footage. We start at 1,500 square feet or less. You're going to look
Okay.
at $350 for a home inspection. You're going to go up about $25 every 500 square feet after that.
So you do it by square footage of
Yep.
the house.
Yep.
Okay.
Because
all
it takes
right.
a little bit longer to go through that
Sure.
extra space, so then we compensate for that. Your mold test is going to be a little more expensive just because that has a lot of fees.
That's not part of the basic
Right.
inspection. Okay.
Right.
So mold.
Yep, that's just your standard home inspection before.
Okay.
I guess I'll go in order of the packages. Our gold package is going to add the sewer line inspection for $175. That's going to add the sewer line scope from the house, and then adds a
That's a
1-year
good price.
warranty to
And I'm sorry, and the what?
1-year warranty.
And the 1-year warranty
On
on
the
that
sewer
on the
line.
sewer line.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. And then you have a final pack, a platinum package,
Yep.
which is what? Everything except dinner. I think dinner has to
I'll
be in
even
there
take you to
somewhere.
dinner. That's all right. Yeah, that includes our sewer line inspection, our mold test, and mold safe warranty, and our sewer guard warranty.
Okay.
So that's basically giving you a full evaluation of the home inspection, the sewer line, and then your air quality test to make sure that that's really a safe house for you.
You know, for being, again, there's opportunities for buyers and sellers both to use your service.
And are all those
and-
separate reports? Like, do you get?
Nope, they'll all come together.
They all come together. Nice.
So we tried to customize our reporting template to include everything together. That way, it's just one thing to look at. It's broken out into categories.
So it's
and
easy to read,
Yep.
please. Yeah,
Yep.
I mean, it's because sometimes I look at those things and you just don't even know how to.
Yep.
How do I interpret this?
How do I
thing?
interpret it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do I interpret it in that kind of thing as well? Well, this is such an important part, and again, you've got a class coming up. Certainly, realtors should be encouraged to take your class, Advanced Home Inspection Training.
Yep.
And again, it's the biggest investment you're going to make. It's worth it to look at this. I really do believe that now, and I'm a convert. Okay, I've changed this because of the stories that we're just hearing, and the fact that it's much more available now. We're talking
and the
about it
warranties
more,
are
and the
amazing.
warranties are there
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
So that really
There's no reason not to do it.
it changes the whole dichotomy of it. I think.
And you know the list of items that I need to work on in my own home,
yeah.
above ground and underneath, and I need a really
You
thorough
need a
inspection
list.
to know where to start and what to do in what order to protect the work that's being done along the way. I'm really convinced at that. I'm really glad that caught my ear today.
Yeah, is that worth the $350 or $450
Yeah.
to do? I mean,
Or spend $15,000 and have it done in wrong stage or something like that you just didn't understand going in.
What's we're almost out of time. What's the biggest repair addendum you ever saw on a property that you did? Do you think of anything?
I had somebody give me one that was 2 pages, and there really wasn't much wrong with the house. It was a lot of little stuff.
Yeah.
But
So you had
but that was
30,
two
okay.
pages. Yeah.
Which
Our
one you
favorites
had?
are always when they just copy the main items right out of the inspection report and ask for everything.
Oh, yeah.
That's just-
Don't do
Well,
that.
I had-
That's in
fills-
the inspection
it just
training course. Don't do
fills
that.
addendum page. Just
Did you hear
do it
that?
all.
That's in the training course.
yeah.
Don't do that. Yeah, don't do
Yeah.
that. That's just kind of the easy,
That's
lazy
pie-
way
that
That
out.
makes
Yeah.
everybody
Piles.
say the home inspector killed the deal.
That's really true. I've absolutely heard that. Well, anyway, again, Travis Hand, Rogue Inspection. You can Google you. You can find you as well, and certainly rogueinspection.com, and they can get you there. So I know that. So I guess that'll do it for us this week.
Good
Anything
show.
else you want to
Good job,
say?
Travis.
You guys?
No, just even if you've been in your house for a while and you're not thinking of selling, still think about getting an inspection so you know what's going on before it gets any worse.
Inspections are good
Yep.
things to have
Inspections
no
are
matter
great
what.
things. They're
They
your
really are.
best friend.
And we like it when they come back negative, even better. You know, nothing's wrong, which doesn't happen very darn often. That'll do it for the Real Estate Show here. It's June the 15th is our date. For Joe Brett, Alice Lima, Travis Hand, I'm Pete Belcastro. Thank you so much for watching us. We're back next week with you as well. Have a great week, and God bless you all.